And welcome to How We Cruise live chat on a Sunday night. Thank you for
Every
gotta
time.
mute my YouTube because I always forget to do that.
Every time. Hey guys, how you doing tonight? Happy Sunday.
So thanks everybody for popping in and joining us. And you didn't mute yours either, so you can't throw stones when you live in glass houses.
I usually do that.
Right. Wanted to say hello to everybody. Thanks for coming over tonight. We got Meg's here tonight. Thank you for being the first one. Cruise Nuts are here. Thanks for stopping over. Hello, Antoinette. Nice to see you again. I feel like most of these people we just saw a few minutes ago. But Have Pitbull Barbecue's here. Have Luggageville Travel's here. I feel like they're logging in from very similar locations. So. Yo, Eddie in the Brooklyn in the house. Thanks for
Eddie. I'm still hungry from that conversation that was going on earlier. I'm still wanting some pork roll and cheese.
I know we got Laura here, and I know Laura's here because she has an upcoming Royal Caribbean cruise that she wants to talk about. So we got Tony G 1975 is here. Blaine is here with us tonight. Let's see who else we have. Oh, and thank you, our wonderful moderators, Have Luggageville Travel, for dropping Royal Caribbean Blogs link. So for those of you who don't know and just decided to join us tonight, we do have a special guest with us here in a few minutes. We did get a hold of Matt from Royal Caribbean Blog.
Super excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
Matt.
Thank you so much, Matt, for being here.
So we kind of have a dual purpose with Matt. Like, we love him, and he's one of the first vlogs we ever watched. There we go. Is that better?
You're off your game.
I am. Well, listen.
It's all right. It's all right.
We got this group cruise going in June. And we know you guys have asked us a lot of questions about it. So I will do what I always promise I will do. And I will drop that at the bottom of the screen there. As soon as I can find it there.
I don't know how I feel about these ticker bars.
Yeah, Julie hates them, but I love them.
I don't hate them. I just don't want to when they go like the entire time. Like, you know, whatever.
All right, well, I'll stop it. And I'll start it again so it didn't go for the entire time.
All right, thank you.
So, but you guys have been asking us a lot of questions about Royal Caribbean, and we've been answering most of your questions, I think. I think everybody's pretty good with that, but we wanted to bring on the absolute expert in Royal Caribbean cruises. So we reached out to Matt and said, hey, we got this group cruise coming up. We got a lot of people asking some questions. Would you mind popping in with us? And what a gentleman to come on with us. We're super excited. So we'll bring him on in just a minute to say hello to a couple more people here. Let's get caught up here. And if I apologize if we miss anybody, but we have Leonard Family Fun here tonight. We've got Tony Diaz here tonight. We have Ocean to Ocean Travel here tonight. And Sharon Stockman is new to our chat, so thank you for joining us, Sharon. We have Blaine here. Did I say Blaine already? I think I've already said Blaine already. We have Mike here. Hey, Cruise Vet, how are you?
Fun.
Let's see. We got PMB's Wide World of Ports here. I love the name of that channel. That's great.
Ashley's here.
We got Philip here tonight. Philip is looking forward to his first Royal Caribbean cruise, too.
Yeah.
We have Ashley Karsten here with us tonight. We have Here Today, Where Tomorrow. Now, we know I believe they have been on Royal Caribbean, as has 500 Travelers. And we know that Miranda's been on Out Cruising Royal, and she is on Symphony right now.
Oh,
so,
awesome.
Yes. So we're hoping she has some good things to say about what's happening there right now. So a few more new people joining us tonight, but I gotta, I'm just gonna jump right over to Matt because I'm gonna bring him on. And we're going to just jump right into that. And
you ready, Matt?
There is.
Yeah, you're good.
Matt, thank
He's
you.
there.
How's our sound and audio? We good tonight? We good?
Everything's great. I had a really nice time in your green room. Your assistants brought some lovely pastries over. The flowers were just really nice. I mean, this is top-notch stuff here. Your pre-production team. Fantastic.
That is what we expect to hear. So we are super glad to hear that.
We pay them a lot as long as they make their beds and clean up their plates from the table. They get all that stuff. So welcome, Matt. Thank you for coming over and joining us here tonight on the How We Cruise channel. A lot of our cruise chat that we talk to people about are very heavy Carnival travelers, and we've been trying to
a portion of them. Yeah. I mean,
but as equal opportunity cruisers, we like to cruise all lines, and we have our group cruise coming up, and we've got a lot of people asking.
We're pretty familiar with
questions.
Carnival and with Royal and with Norwegian, probably the least of the three major lines. And Disney is another topic all in itself. But yeah, I mean, Royal. Let's talk about it. We have been on 3 Royal cruises in the last few months, and we have another big group cruise coming up, and we have some people here or who are here that are joining us. So
we're going to start by firing away questions at you, and if you guys have any specific questions for Matt, just write question in all caps in the chat, so that way we make sure we don't miss it there, because we want to make sure we get the most out of Matt's time. But we're going to start, Matt. We're going to get to ask you the first question because it's our live, and that's what we want to do. So, Julie, you brought this one up, so why don't you? Because that was your big thing.
Okay. Well, what? Yeah, right there. Okay. All right. So let's just be clear here. You do not work for Royal Caribbean.
I do not work for Royal Caribbean. I'm not a travel agent. I don't work for a travel agency, and I don't work for Royal Caribbean. I've never worked for Royal Caribbean. I think that's the standard disclaimer.
Yeah, but you love them. You love them, you support them, and you love to share all the knowledge that you have on them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot like a lot of people in here. I was a cruise. Am, and still am a cruise fan, and I just really gravitated towards Royal Caribbean. What you see here today is not. This wasn't like my master plan. I just kind of organically got this started, and things evolved over time, and it's been kind of this je ne sais quoi along the way.
I feel like he knows what I'm going to say already. Like
accidental vlogger. That's kind of what happened.
I kept backing into it until I turned around and like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to turn around now, and it just I was excited for a cruise like everybody else, and the idea kind of came to me. Not this current idea. Again, I didn't come up with this 11, 12 years ago, this idea. I just had this idea. I'm excited for my cruise. I want to share information about cruising that I would want to find myself. And that was the basic of it, but a lot has evolved over time.
Yeah. So how old were you when you went on your first cruise? Like what age range were you in?
I might have been a teenager still on our first cruise. We went on the Disney Wonder. This was late 90s. I'm going to guess 98, 99.
Me too. I was 97. It was Carnival, but yeah, about that age. I didn't do it myself. I was with my family and
same. Yeah. Yep. One of my sisters was celebrating. So I really got to ask my mom, like, it was either someone's birthday or Sweet 16. It wasn't for me. It was one of my sisters, like, really wanted to go on Disney Cruise Line. It was really like a thing. And my parents were just like, all right, I guess we'll go on a cruise. And and it was like 3 nights. How bad could it be? And we really liked. I mean, we really liked that whole idea of cruising. I mean, Disney's great, and we thought the whole motif, the approach, the style to it, it really drew us in to what cruising could be, and that was very attractive for us because just like you guys, when you're, I'm the oldest of my 2 sisters. So you got kids that are in, let's say, mid to upper teens, to my youngest sister who would have been probably like, she would have been like, she's 10 years younger than me. So whatever that math works out to. And, different age groups, different age range, different desires. Like my middle sister probably would have loved to have spent the entire cruise sunning on the pool deck. I would have enjoyed playing in the arcade or what have you. Different strokes, different folks, right? And that was great about it. Usually, you do family vacation, you're doing the same thing with everybody all together, right? It's the National Lampoon. Look, kids, the Grand Canyon. And it's like that kind of an experience. But this was a lot more freeform, and that really appealed to us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, you have roots, if I'm not mistaken, pre-Royal Caribbean with Disney, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, I'm a recovering Disney fan. I completed the 12-step program, but I still have to, make my penance and apologize to at least 50 more people. But yes, I was at one point a big Disney fan actually, and I kind of moved away from there for a variety of reasons. I don't want to upset your Disney Cruise Line fans in the chat, but let's just say that Disney isn't what it used to be, in my opinion.
Well, we did kind of want to attack that question a little bit because, every time we check in on you, you're always cruising on Royal Caribbean, and now you've admitted to having a Disney cruise under your belt. But have you cruised any other lines?
Yeah, so we did 4 or 5 Disney cruises, and I've done one cruise on NCL. This is in 2012, and it wasn't their newest ship by any means. It was the NCL Gem or the Star. I forget which one exactly it was. But that's it. Otherwise, it's been all Royal.
Oh, okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, did it make you feel guilty when you went on NCL, or?
No, actually, it was really good because at that time, I really wasn't sure. We had done Disney, we'd done Royal, and I was like, maybe I just like cruising. Maybe I just like the idea of a cruise. And again, I'm sorry to all the NCL fans out there. But we went on NCL, and I was like, oh boy, this is not Royal Caribbean. And my wife and I were like, we had a nice time. I don't want to make it seem like we had a terrible time. We had a very nice time, but we were very glad to go back to Royal Caribbean after that. It just was their NCL's approach, and again, not their newest ship. It didn't quite jive with what we were looking for. I thought their attention to they overemphasized specialty dining. They underemphasized the main dining room experience. I didn't love that. I didn't find that there was as many interesting or compelling activities on board the ship. It just wasn't quite the same fit. There were some things.
It's good to know what you like.
Yeah.
It's good to know what you like, and it's really good to know what you can expect.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a really nice thing about cruising in general. For those new cruisers out there who have not been on a ship yet, there's always those little jitters and those nerves, and you see all these Facebook posts and questions and everything. Everybody asks the same question, and they ask them over and over and over again. But once you've been on a cruise and once you know what to expect, it really is a comfort. I mean, I could go on and on and on about how great cruising is in general. I mean, I'm sure you could too, Matt. It's
Okay,
fantastic. But
Matt's favorite ship.
Wonder of the Seas. It's kind of a.
Say that.
I hate to say always the newest ship. It always seems like a cheap answer to it, but honestly, I've been on Wonder, and it was just. I was really, really impressed with what they had there, and it just. I fell in love with so many of the little tweaks and changes, and it really resonated with me. So I would say Wonder of the Seas.
We have not been on Wonder yet, and I can't wait to.
Yeah.
But how psyched are you for Icon?
I have never been more excited for something I have no idea what it is. It's just
Me too. I am so pumped for this.
This is what I will say. And listen, look, I'm a Royal Caribbean fan. We all know this, blah, 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 right? I've been covering Royal Caribbean for 12 years. I don't remember ever them delving into this much hyperbole about a new ship. They'll talk, when Wonder came out and Odyssey came out, and before that Symphony and Harmony and Quantum, they were like, yeah, this is it's a really big deal. It's a cool, it's a big ship, new changes, great. With Icon, they've broken out every adjective that I've ever heard them describe a cruise ship with. So I've never been so excited about something. I have no idea what it is, but boy, am I!
You can't even contain yourself.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm right there with
I
you.
don't know what it is, but
I am so psyched. I am just hanging on there every last. What do you call it? Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
to see.
I'm watching this chat explode here, and we said post question, and people are posting a lot of questions.
I haven't even looked at the chat. I
might have to.
Sorry.
We did have a lot of questions that we wanted to ask you, but I think we might have to abandon those. So we did tell you, we did preload you with that our channel is really focused around cruising with kids and cruising with families. So
group cruises.
And you have a good
background in group cruises.
I want to ask one leading question to our first question from the chat, and that is, what is your kid's favorite ship?
Ooh. I think they generally lean towards the Oasis class ships. I think they just like things to do, like all kids. My kids are 11 and 7, so they're very much of the it's been 2 minutes since I did something fun. I'm bored. This is the worst trip ever. When are we doing something else that's really fun? They live in the moment. And certainly they are drawn to ships that have a lot of cool things to do. My oldest is starting to get into karaoke. That's her new thing. She'll start asking me, does the ship have a karaoke, a dedicated karaoke bar, or just is it only at certain hours? That's kind of her thing now. Does the ship have the new Adventure Ocean? The revamped ones some of the new ships have in there. These are all the kind of questions that they look for. So I think in general, they lean towards certainly the Oasis class. It's kind of funny. We have a cruise coming up in 2024 on Rhapsody of the Seas because we want to do Panama Canal. That's an amazing itinerary. But Rhapsody is a Vision class ship, and it doesn't have a promenade. And my oldest really can't wrap her mind around that. She's like, well, how does that work? Like, she just can't understand like a ship that doesn't have a promenade. It's just like a foreign.
I can relate. Ours are the same age, by the way.
Yeah,
we have
11.
7, 8, and 11.
Yes.
So yeah,
right,
exact same thing. We
right
can
the
totally
same
relate.
And they love that Oasis of the Seas, and that's why that's where our group cruise will be, and that's why. I misread Philip's question. I wanted the first question to be from a kid. Sorry, Philip. I'll call you a kid. How is the Coke in the Coke machines? Is it good or is it flat?
The Coke is fantastic. Actually, you know what's funny? There's all fine. And if you're getting the Coke from the Coke machines, let's be honest, you're not ordering just a Coke because you're getting those freestyle machines. You're getting, vanilla and cherry and a combination of also like some Dr. Pepper, not Dr. Mr. Pibb, mixed in there. That's kind of the fun thing about that. And certainly when you get the soda out of a can or from the gun, it's been totally fine in all my rum and Coke, so I don't have any problem with that. I think it's been pretty darn good.
Well, Sharon has a question. I'm not sure if this is a question for us, but what ship is your group? Do you have a current group cruise scheduled, Matt?
Yeah, I'm going to guess it's aimed at you because I know Sharon very well, and I think she knows that. So I'm going to go question for you, but Sharon, please correct me if I'm wrong.
So, Sharon, that our information is scrolling right at the bottom of the screen, and we would love to have you come with us if you're interested. So we'll jump over, since you mentioned your rum and Coke, we'll jump over to Josh and Chastity right here.
Well, I'll just plug it real quick. I mean, our group cruise is June 23rd, 2023 on Oasis of the Seas. We're leaving out of Bayonne. It stops at Coco Beach in Port Canaveral. Then we are going down to Nassau, and we'll stop at Coco Cay, which is absolutely amazing. Matt, let's end the debate here once and for all, because I'm going to consider you the guru. Is it Coco Cay or Coco Key?
So both pronunciations are acceptable. Coco Key is the
That's very important.
But the Bohemians say, I mean, honestly, both are acceptable, but Key is more correct. That's how the Bohemians pronounce it. But you're not insulting anybody in the Bahamas by calling it K. But someone corrected me once on that.
It's key to me because everything else is key. You can't. I know that Coco Cay.
I know it's key. It just rolls off the tongue better. I like it.
My kids yell at me.
These are the debates we have at night before we go to bed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Josh and Chastity would like to know, they're sailing on the Symphony in 6 days, and I believe that is their first Royal Caribbean cruise. So where do you want to send them as the top 3 spots? What are the best 3 spots on Symphony?
Okay. I would say you've got to quintessentially, you get on board, you've got to have a drink at the Rising Tide bar. This is the bar that moves between the Royal Promenade and Central Park. Yes, it is kind of a gimmick, but it's really cool. And I think this is like I'm on a cruise, we're on board, we made it, let's take a selfie. Like, this is a great spot. So this is the drink. So number 1, I'm going to say Rising Tide bar. For number 2, in the evening when you've had dinner and you're kind of like, well, let's have some evening entertainment. I love going to the pub, the English style pub that's on the promenade. Great drinks on there. I love the music. This is what really kind of sold me a lot on Royal Caribbean, was that the pub experience. I'm a big fan of the pubs on board. I love the bar songs that we all know very, very well. And it's, you can, whether you sing along to or you just kind of listen to it and have a conversation with a friend, that's okay too. It's a great environment, great vibe. The music, the drinks. I think the pub is definitely number 2. And then number 3, boy, this is a tough one. There's a lot of compelling choices. You've got Playmakers. You've got the you can always do the pool bar, of course. I got a Trellis Bar, Central Park. Go there. So I give you your post-dinner drink. But go there pre-dinner. Like when you're all dressed up for dinner, but you got like 15 minutes to kill before you go there. Trellis Bar, Central Park. Sit out there. It's absolutely beautiful and amazing.
Matt, I knew I liked you.
Funny story, Trellis Bar. When we were on the Oasis of the Seas, we tried to do our group cruise picture in Central Park. And you ever try to get 15 kids in a picture in Central Park?
Yeah, they weren't too happy with us. They did. They were very kind, and it took a little bit of finagling, but we were able to get that picture. So we thank.
And it's my
Royal
favorite
Caribbean for
picture
that.
ever. So
It really is a good one.
all right, how
That's
about
coming
this
up
one?
in one of our next vlogs because I'm
Oh
behind.
yeah,
We vlog each day as we go, and
Salty?
it's coming up, guys.
Salty Beach Traveler. Salty Beach Traveler. Sorry, first day with the new tongue. What ship would you recommend for a first-time Royal Caribbean cruiser?
Ooh,
That's a good. That's why I picked it. I like that one.
I think the Oasis or the Quantum class ship are always a solid bet. So, specific ships, like whether that's Wonder or Odyssey of the Seas, those are two really good choices. Oasis, you guys have the group cruise on there. Symphony, the Oasis or the Quantum class. And the reason why I picked them, they offer the latest and greatest that Royal Caribbean is known for. If you've ever watched a Royal Caribbean commercial, these are the ships. Two posters are, yeah, like that's what you see. Nothing again. I love the Voyager class. I love the Freedom class. I love the Radiance class, and they're great. But your first time, you probably have an idea in your mind. Those ships, the Oasis class and the Quantum class ships, are what we're talking about. So I really do believe those are really solid choices to pick for your first ship.
I feel like you're setting the bar really high, though. I don't know. I think I might go for that Freedom class.
Think of it this way. Think of it like a fine wine. When you first start drinking wine, they give you here's the Pinot Noir, which I absolutely love Pinot Noirs, but here's like the really crowd pleaser. And then as you get into it, you start delving into the deeper cuts. And that's kind of what this is, right? Like Brilliance of the Seas. I love Brilliance. I go every year in Brilliance because it is a deep cut cruise ship. It's a small Radiance class ship, and I love it. But I don't say an acquired taste, but you have to appreciate it more. And I think the more you cruise, the greater you get to, understand how that all works. I think for new people, especially people new to Royal Caribbean, they have this idea of what the line is all about, and that's why I recommend the Oasis of the Quantum class.
Very cool. Awesome. Yeah.
All right. Well, I have another good question. Well, actually, we're going to divert from questions for just a second because we're going to dive into one of Julie's questions. Since you pointed behind you.
Oh.
Julie has always admired
from the first time that we've ever watched any one of your lives and we've seen you on. I just love your background. I love your backdrop. I love your Alf. I love your speak and spell. I'm loving that you got Star Wars back there. I'm just feeling it. Like, did you plan this? I mean,
it was kind of organic. It was an organic thing. I always thought it'd be fun to have some stuff behind me that was like cruising related rather than just a plain, boring wall, which I had for many, many years. The first of the posters were the first iteration, and then I just started adding random stuff. Like some of it, there's more cruise related stuff on. It's really hard to see because my chair's right in the way. But there's more cruise related stuff on this side, and then it kind of evolved. This is my 80s corner over here, so that's why you got the Demogorgon, Jobu from Major League.
Yeah.
Hard to do this. Blockbuster Video. A robot that doesn't work anymore, Teddy Ruxpin, Speak and Spell, Alf. I think that's it for the 80s corner over there. But it's just, and honestly, I get so much stuff because I cruise all the time. And like I have all the I'm doing this backwards. All the Royal Caribbean souvenir cups in there. So I kind of thought, wow, wouldn't it be fun to, kind of share all these things and just have, otherwise, like many other things in life, you just put them in a closet and they just end up in the trash 10 years later. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to keep all my Royal Caribbean mementos behind me.
Well, I absolutely admire your background. I love it. I watch it every time. I look to see if anything changes or moves. So I'm sure if I'm doing that means that there's tons of other people that are too. And oh my goodness, thank you so much, Sharon, for that wonderful super chat. That's really, really cool.
Sharon,
that's awesome. Thank you
very, very much. That is
very
fantastically
generous.
Awesome. I'm gonna go to one more question before I go to one of Matt's favorite topics. I think one of Matt's favorite topics, but we have a friend joining us on our group cruise who is on the taller side and would like to know, are the hallways larger and ceilings taller on Oasis class ship? His 6'7" head wants to know.
I've never gotten this question before. I have no idea. I was they're the same height. I have honestly no idea. The Oasis class versus other classes are higher or shorter or not.
Sorry, Josh.
Sorry, Josh. You're going to have to just try.
Yep. Sorry.
All right. Well, I'm going to roll back here and we're going to ask a very simple question because I know we're going to dive into a much bigger topic.
Oh, I got a question that I can follow up with this one. So,
Matt, the admin of the Royal Caribbean Dining Facebook page, how is the food on Royal?
It's great. This is such a loaded question. It's something that I always talk to people about because there's always, however many people we got in chat right now, there's double that amount of opinions on food in general. I love the food on Royal Caribbean. I think most of it is in the good to very good category. There are some outliers that are like a couple things that are like, wow, that's excellent. And there's a couple things that are like, I'm not eating that again. But there's so much variety that it's not an issue of you going hungry or really forcing yourself to suffer. But I found the food to be really good. I like there's a good amount of variety, classics on board. My kids can find the chicken fingers that they're looking for, the slices of pizza by the dozen that are no problem to find. I like the fact that there's great international foods. I like the fact that there's one of my favorite dishes is spaghetti bolognese. It's spaghetti and meat sauce. Like, it's not the most exotic dish in the world, but my goodness, it is a really good. I don't know what they did in it, and it's hard for me to ever talk really eloquently about spaghetti bolognese. I feel like I'm like, it's like, y'all ever heard of spaghetti and meatballs? It's amazing. It's just
good.
But
It can
it's
just
really
be
good.
good.
I don't know what they do in it, and it's. So I think it's fantastic. I think it's really good, and I always thought Royal Caribbean's food game has been great. And then over the last couple of years, they've certainly been upping it. The quality, if you guys remember, I'm sure the old pizza at Sorrento's used to be like, when we used to talk about Sorrento's pizza, we would say, well, if you had like 5 or 6 drinks that night, it's going to taste great. That's what it's good for. And Royal Caribbean knew that. And they were like, yeah, we want this food to actually be like tasty all time, not just when you're loaded. And they really did address it. And Sorrento's pizza actually is really, really good. So
love Sorrento.
Yeah.
We had it every night. I think every night ends with Sorrento's and Spooner Bar.
I mean, unless it's spaghetti bolognese, my follow-up question to that would be: what is your go-to meal when you get on a ship? Like, what do you know that you want to have at least some night somewhere, whether it's specialty dining, main dining, whatever? Like, what do you know that you have to have?
Oh, Indian curry. I'm a huge sucker for it. I love it. It was something that, like, when I first got on Royal, I was like, wow. I always liked Indian food to begin with, and they have usually a fair amount of it on any given, whether it's lunch or dinner, main dining room, Windjammer. They've got it all in there, and that's like my go-to. It's not guilty because I say my guilty pleasure, but it's not. I'm not guilty about it at all. It's just that is my I must eat that at least once a day kind of thing.
Do you have one? I don't even know if you have one. Do you have one?
So, and Matt, this is actually your fault. We had something that I wanted to really try, and we forgot. We watched your video when you were in Playmakers. With
the cookie, the campfire cookie.
And I totally
about it. We talked about when we got home. We're like,
forgot about it.
We didn't even remember that we forgot when we were on the cruise. We didn't remember until we got home. We're like, oh.
I'm sorry, this broadcast is over. I can't deal with this anymore.
well,
you got to go back.
We're gonna be getting that, but
yeah.
Mine is just because I got to throw it out there. Is what you know what it is?
Well, of course I do. You're escargot.
No, you're wrong. Jesus.
You should have got Brian. You were on the right track. The husband.
It is my eggs Benedict. I have morning eggs Benedict.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on.
Next time, Brian's like, I don't have to say it. You all know what it is. Of course, I know what it is. How dare you even to question that? That's husband 101 when you're not exactly sure. Be like, yeah, of course I know what that is, honey.
Can you order from both sides of the Izumi menu at the same time? We know you love Izumi, so can you order? I don't know if I've not. We have
not done Izumi. We had it booked, and then we are canceled, and whatever, and we just have not actually gotten into Izumi yet.
I assume Deb is asking about hibachi versus sushi side. If you're at hibachi, then yes, the answer is yes. You can order sushi while you're at hibachi. If you've got 8 stomachs, you're more than welcome to. I mean, the hibachi is a giant meal. But yes, you absolutely can. But it doesn't work the other way. If you're on the sushi side, you can't be like, oh, can I get a tuna roll, a crispy salmon roll, and then can I also get some fried rice from over there? I mean, that doesn't work quite that way. But if you're at the hibachi table, absolutely.
All right. So I'm going to ask one now. What do you look forward to most? The dining, the activities, the shows, the ports. What's your get you most excited on your cruise?
Oh, it's always about the food. I mean, the food is always what I love about cruising. I love the ports, I love the ships. There's always things, but at the end of the day, I think I definitely base every day as where we're eating is my thing. So yeah, I think the food is definitely what draws me and what I really like. I really focus on the most. I love it. My wife and I joke when we have dinner at home the last night before going to cruise, like no, we don't have to figure out who's making for what for dinner for the next 7 nights. We don't have to worry about dishes. We don't have to worry about what this kid's gonna eat or that kid's like. It's just it is the closest thing parents get to easy mode out there, and that is the best thing in the world.
And that's what we do is the minute we get home for like the next week, we talk about where's our waiter, where's our server, where's, nope.
The best part also for the kids, especially when you're at home, the joke I always have with the kids is this isn't the Windjammer. You can't pick and choose like one bite of this, one bite of this. You're on the cruise ship. Yeah, you don't want more than 2 bites. I don't care. I didn't pay. It's all the same. Sure.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
We went out to eat the other night, and my son, we were looking at the menu. My son goes, I wish we were on a cruise ship. He wanted to order like 3-4 things. We're like, no. That's not how that works here.
Absolutely.
Well, let's ask you about, is that what your kids look forward to most? Because again, we're going to talk to you a lot about how you travel with your kids. Do they like the food? Do they like are they chicken nuggets kids like our kids, or are they trying different stuff?
Yeah, my oldest now got into steak a couple of cruises ago, and now she really likes steak because if she's in the main dining room, then it's included. If we're going, we usually get like dining packages as well. So if we're at Chops, or there's a good chance she's getting filet mignon. That is like her life dream, and so yeah, they definitely like the food. I think the two things that really draw them to cruising is the food and the choice that they have all that variety. Unless you're my youngest daughter, then all you just eat is pizza for 7 nights, and then of course the activities on board. So one of the things they really measure a cruise ship by is what can they do? Water slides, bumper cars, the ultimate abyss, laser tag, karaoke we talked about a little bit earlier. Like that is what they really like about it. It's that combination of constantly eating and then constantly doing something really, really fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. So all right, so let's jump to this one then. How do your kids feel about Adventure Ocean?
It's kind of funny. Up until this year, they were I used to joke, products of the system. They'd been in Adventure Ocean 6 months old. They love it. My youngest still loves it a lot. My oldest is bucking now. She's trying to she likes the idea when there are other kids on board that she knows. So oftentimes we go on a cruise, whether it's a group cruise or we cruise with friends or families, she knows other kids. So like they want to be able to do their own thing without being told to, let's go do, the counselor's telling you to do a certain activity. They do generally prefer the new Adventure Ocean. So like when the ship has a newer version of it, they like that because that's a little more freeform, and they appreciate that. That sometimes they feel like playing Gaga Ball, sometimes they like playing coloring in the corner or doing whatever. And it's really a combination of socialization and then doing fun things on there. So today, I guess the answer to your question is if it's the new Adventure Ocean, they both really like it, and they do enjoy it because we as parents are boring. We never want to do what they want to do, and as I tell them, say, well, it's this, or you can go sit in the room and watch TV, I guess. But this is more interesting for them. And if it's the ships that have the older Adventure Ocean, my youngest still appreciates it because she still finds that fun. My oldest though is starting to, like I said, buck a little bit with that kind of thing.
Yeah, our kids are like on the fence. Like they thought they wanted to try it, and they do, and they're back and forth a little bit. And same exact thing. The boys like the video games, but if it's not video games, our daughter said the exact same thing. They're like, I don't like only having I want to be able to kind of pick and choose.
Yeah.
We've heard that maybe as they get a little bit older, it comes back again, and they want it again. But
Well, the Oasis has the new Adventure Ocean, so I'd be curious if they would find that more interesting, especially the boys, because they not only have the video games, but they have these interactive tables that are basically like giant iPads, and there's different games they can play on there, and it's more open-ended. So it gives them that choice, like, oh, this Gaga Ball, okay, I'll go play that now, and then I'm gonna come back and do this, or no, we're just gonna sit here, and here's my friend, here's my brother, whatever. Just I want to, chit chat for a little bit. You can do that, which is a nice thing to have for them. So.
Ooh, I hit the wrong one.
I don't know if you're going to lead into something else, but I just kind of want to roll that over into, let's talk a little bit, maybe if you don't mind, about group cruising. Because, we love group cruising. We group cruised our entire lives, like long before, I group cruised before I knew you even, but I love going with a group. I just think it's such a great way because you can do as much with the group or without the group as you want. You know, you go on the ship, you unpack once, and you know, like you're going to all these places. And again, you can join people that you may or may not be familiar with, but at least you're still associated in the same group.
Yeah.
As much or as little as you want. So you like the group cruise, right?
Absolutely, I love it. I mean, it, like you said, it's just really nice to be able to have like kind of know a lot of friendly faces around the ship, which is a really cool thing. I remember when we first started doing, group cruises, it was a little like, okay, I'm not sure what to expect, and then it was kind of fun because it was like, it's like high school, like in a good way, not the bad way, but it's like, you see like, oh, hey, it's Brian, like, oh, it's Bob, and oh, it's Tony Diaz. I'm so sorry, but like you see all these people around the ship, and you're like, hey, this is great, and because you have a built-in network of friends. And it's okay on a group cruise. And I know people have never done one before. They're a little leery. It's like, well, I don't know any of these people from anybody. How do I know I want to hang out with them or anything like that? But you already have something in common. You already like cruising. Like, there are people that get married with less in common, right? So, like, you've got that to start off with. But at least you can get a conversation for a few minutes before you're like, all right, I got to go. But it's fun. It makes it more interesting. And it's a very liberating experience going back to the kids. My kids will always ask me and say, well, what's our next cruise that we have, Dad? And I'll say, okay, it's this ship and this ship. And they'll be like, well, is that a group cruise or not? Because they know group cruise is code for their friends will be on board. And people and they love that. That's like when we go tell them, no, we don't know. Like, we went to Alaska this year. We didn't know anyone on board. It was just us. And they were like, they're almost like, what's the point? Like, why are we going on this cruise? We don't know anybody. And it's like, we'll still have a good time. But you're with friends, it's just much better.
I know you had a little bit of a hiccup in Alaska, but how did your kids like the Alaska cruise at their age?
They love it. I mean, this is their second time doing Alaska. Number one, as we live in Florida, so it was very nice to get a break from the Florida heat, and their favorite, like for us, it's such a novel thing. Like, we're wearing long sleeves. This is like, and like, and they like the animal watching has really become a big thing. I picked up on that not too long ago, where they're really getting like snorkeling. Not really Alaska, but they just like more animal interaction. So in Alaska, we focus more on doing stuff, with the bears. We're in Vancouver, went to the aquarium, and they got to, they really, really like that aspect of cruising more so than like, can't look at the grandeur of this thing, and they're like, yeah, whatever, Dad. Like, you'll never win that fight. But they really like that aspect of it. There's so much wildlife to see in Alaska. We did a touch tank in Sitka, and they had a wonderful time there. So they really like that.
That's awesome.
That's very cool. Yeah, we were just talking to was it the Cruise World? They did that helicopter tour over Alaska.
Yeah,
we're very jealous
really cool.
of. We're really gonna have to get going on something like that. So have you proposed the How We Cruise group cruise to your kids then, since they love group cruising so much?
Absolutely. Listen, it's just a matter of they just need to have a dossier. Like, all right, who's on board, age, gender, favorite ice cream. All right, they're good.
I do love Don's comment.
Don's got a great
absolutely.
comment there.
A group cruise is a group cruise is a cruise with 75 of your best friends that you rarely see. So
Yep.
true.
Very true.
Or you see as much or as little as you want.
I saw a question up here that was asking, now, Matt, I don't know if you're a fan of the karaoke so much, but they wanted to know about how is the karaoke on the Royal Caribbean ships?
It's very good. I mean, there's usually at least some karaoke every night of the cruise. There's family karaoke, there's regular adult karaoke, whatever you want to call it. Teens have their own karaoke as well. As I mentioned, it depends on the ship. If it's, let's say generically, there's at least a venue that has karaoke, I think, like every night of the cruise, right? On some of the ships, like when you go on Oasis, they've actually converted the on-air club to be, the karaoke lounge. And there it's just all the time.
Yeah, we thought that was very cool, yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that there's definitely a very good amount of karaoke on board, certainly enough to, I would assume, feed your habit. I don't know how much karaoke you can tolerate, but yes, there's quite a bit that's in there.
All right, well, we're going to flip over to my favorite topic, Coco. I guess we'll call it Key now.
Thank you.
What is your favorite thing to do at Coco Key?
I hope you keep saying that forever, by the way. Favorite thing to do, you know what? Well, I mean, I just love the variety of it. This is kind of a lame answer. It's like, I love all my children the same, but sometimes I prefer, one or the other. And the same is true for Coco Key. I like the fact that there is a good choice of, like, sometimes you feel like I want to go to the pool bar and I want to sit in the pool lounger and I want to dance along to Whitney Houston and then 50 Cent because that's what you do at a pool. Sometimes you want to have just like a relaxing, like I want to be just enjoy the breeze and the ocean, and you go to South Beach. I like, there's so much. The kids will always go to the water park, but I'm not paying for it every single time. But they like you have got that Coco Beach Club, which has the best steak anywhere in Royal Caribbean. Like sometimes you just feel like different things, and that is truly what I think makes Coco Key such a compelling choice among the private islands in the industry is that they have so many variety of choices. So you're not like everybody's not forced to do the same thing, or it's like usually when you talk about private islands, you're talking about it's just a beach day and you're gonna go have burger and hot dog and that's it. And it's not a bad day, but I like variety and I like choices, and there's so many cool things to do. So lately we've been taking the kids to Harbor Beach, which is a little inlet beach that's that they like because there's no waves there. There's no jellyfish in there, and it's a seasonal thing. But they just like it. They have an area that they can
have that one.
We had rough experience with that. So
there's ice cream nearby. It's just it works out. Sometimes I like going to the pool. So it's nice having that choice. I think that's really the strength of Coco Key more than anything.
So what's your favorite thing since we're on the food then? What is your favorite thing to eat at Coco Key? And I think I know the answer.
Well, complimentary, it's definitely the crispy chicken sandwich at the Snack Shack. I mean, that is just the bee's knees. I eat that every time I go there. But as I alluded to earlier, the filet mignon at Coco Beach Club is absolutely stunning, amazing. I mean, I remember the first time I had it, I was like, this is land-based restaurant quality. This isn't like a slab of meat that somebody put on an old charcoal grill. I mean, it is really good. And I was just there a week or two ago, and it was still phenomenal. And that I cut out red meat from my life for health reasons. I still eat the filet mignon every time I go. Because I have to. I mean, it would just be everything else would be a disappointment.
Yeah.
Well, we did have to take it was actually Bri, our son, decided your tip of taking the crispy chicken sandwich and adding the mozzarella sticks to the crispy chicken sandwich. So
you don't even have to do that on your own. That's a waste of your own energy, Brian. You could have been using to take a nap. Ask for the secret sandwich.
Oh, the secret sandwich. Okay.
Yeah, when you go to the Snack Shack, just like, can I please have the secret sandwich? And they'll be like, oh yeah. All right, one of the weirdos wants the secret sandwich again. They put it on there for it. Same exact thing you did, but they assemble it for you.
I thought there was one really good question here that I wanted to make sure we hit you with. So I wanted to hear your opinion on it. And I know you've talked about it on your channel many times before, so it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to put it up on the screen. But what is your opinion of the Key program?
I think it's better than it sounds. I don't recommend it. I think you're overpaying for perks and amenities that generally just sound better than they are. It's a very front-loaded heavy program. That makes sense. A lot of benefits really come in on the first day, and then within about 6 hours of being on the ship, the majority of them are gone, and that's it. And then you have the rest of the cruise you're paying for because you buy it every single day. So I don't recommend it. It sounds better than it is. I would say though, if you were Matt, if I were to get it, who would you recommend it for? And I would say if you are not staying in a suite, you're below Diamond and Crown and Anchor Society, and you're absolutely going to buy the internet package no matter what. There's an argument to be made for the Key. But I would still tell you, you're probably wasting your money, and there are ways to get around it. And I've talked about more of this on the website and all that. But that's the family-friendly answer.
So for a more in-depth review of Matt's Key, make sure you check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. So we did it for exactly the reasons you said, is we were going to buy the internet anyway. We did try it, and we got it for a really good price, which a lot of people
really,
you give this advice also to make sure you purchase whatever it is that you want through the cruise planner. If you want it, get it. If the price goes down, rebook.
Yep, that's a great strategy.
Return it
But here's an interesting question, and I don't know if anybody's really addressed yet. Laura says, as a remote worker, I work on cruise ships a lot. Very excited and curious about the Starlink. Do we have any idea how it's going to perform versus the old internet that's on the ship now?
Yeah, so when we got wind that Royal Caribbean was testing Starlink on Freedom of the Seas, I sent one of my writers immediately. I was like, can I interest you in a free cruise to go test this out? And, twist her arm. She went on, and Nicole tested it out for a weekend cruise, and she's the same way, Laura. She works remotely, both her and her husband. So they brought their it was a weekend cruise, but they simulated work. I think the husband had some work to do, like a phone call. Anyway, it's a game changer. It was really, really good. We did a review of it, Laura, and you can see the speeds and she tested it out multiple places, multiple times for the entire 3-night cruise, and it worked really, really well. Now, I guess the caveat to this is that the test on Freedom was just that, a test. We don't know, will that be exactly the same rollout for when they roll it out to the rest of the ships? It remains to be seen. As of the recording of this broadcast, it's still not yet active on any Royal Caribbean ships. They were installing receivers on at least Independence of the Seas, and we did a test yesterday. Someone was on board and said, hey, can you do me a favor? Could you do a speed test for me? And it's not Starlink yet. It's still the old provider, so they haven't activated it yet. But hopefully, I really have a lot of reason to believe, Laura, that it will be the sum of all hope, that it will be what you're looking for, because as somebody who also works remotely, and I was on Mariner a week or two ago now, and Laura, the internet was so bad. I mean, it was just like, it was just like cry yourself to sleep bad.
Yeah, we were trying to watch your live stream, and we saw you were struggling a little bit. So.
Yeah.
Now, we definitely want to make sure we're respectful of your time. So we're gonna cut it down. So I just want to have a few more questions I want to try and get through to you, so we hit everybody's questions that we can while we have you here, if you don't mind. And this is actually a very good question. And I'm going to expand it too. Are the pools at Coco Key heated? I'm going to expand it to, are the pools in the ships heated?
The Coco Beach Club pool is definitely heated. They added that not too long ago. The pool, the Oasis Lagoon pool, is heated by the sun. In fact, all the pools are heated by the sun. But depending on the ship, some of them are. It depends on the ship. I can't give you a blanket answer.
One of my favorite things about Oasis Lagoon and on Coco Key is under the water they play music. It's different music than it's playing by the DJ and the whatever. You go under the water. And it was so funny the first time we realized that out, and the kids were like going crazy, and we were like, "Oh my goodness, go under the water and you can hear the different music." Pretty cool.
It's a cool thing. I remember that reading that in, like, the press release, and then someone was like, "It's the music," and they're like, "Oh yeah, let's ask my daughter. Go underwater and test it out." She's like, "Yeah, there's music down there."
It's true.
All right, let's see. Does the junior suites get priority boarding?
Kind of. They do, in the sense that when you get to the terminal, it depends on the cruise terminal you're going out of, Ashley. But if there's a suite line, you are allowed to go in there. So yes.
Well, I have another question. I think this is my last question. I don't know what you're looking through there for, but I know that we don't know everything we need to know. I know that we're still waiting on a lot of info, but what do you want to do first when you get on the Icon? Do you have any idea?
I want to do something so cool and interesting. I have no idea what it is. That's a great question. I don't even
Are you going to go on the inaugural?
I would aim to be on the inaugural. Yes, that is my goal, provided it's not. Oh gosh, even if it's over my kids' birthdays, I think I'd still have to go. I'm trying to think of like reasons I absolutely, what could possibly stop me from going? Yes, the answer is almost certainly yes.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait for that. Cool. So very cool.
Very, very, very cool. Well, we don't want to take too much of your time. We so much appreciate you guys, or you hopping on with us and talking to all of us. We hope that we've answered enough questions here, or Matt has answered enough questions, I should say. We didn't really answer anything, to convince some of you who may have been on the fence about popping over and joining us on our group cruise in June 23rd of 2023 out of Bayonne on the Oasis of the Seas.
Or any other cruise, because, and let me tell you, like, cruising is just awesome. So get out there, get on the seas. If you haven't yet tried it out, if you have, keep going, come with us. Matt, I hope we run into you. I hope that we sail with you someday. We would love to run into you on a
Likewise.
ship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. I think we're going to wrap it up with that. And thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you on the seas.
See you.
Thank you all so much.
All right.